Now at number 80 we have Big Brother 17, continuing on with our Big Brother season. And it's definitely an interesting. I think it's gotten a lot better the more I think about it. Honestly, I just think it's actually. I think it's now getting to the point where we're getting to like the good two great seasons of Big Brother, like great seasons of these shows. And pretty much just that from BT19 wasn't exactly the most fun era to be a Big Brother fan. Hell, you talked about those seasons earlier on this list, so yeah. But 17 is definitely the best of those, the one that I've grown to appreciate a bit more, honestly. Like it definitely has its issues, like with the whole some of the twisting they're trying to do, and not going anywhere after week 3, which is insane. Like things don't like you. I don't know, it's because they're probably running out of ideas or whatever, but yeah. And maybe some contestants find me kind of boring, like Clay, Becky. Like I've never been a huge Becky fan, and never been huge on Julia either. And as much as I enjoy Vanessa's gameplay, she can be her emotionality can really be annoying sometimes. Honestly, Jade's is definitely a fun first boot, but also kind of annoyances, and Audrey definitely has annoyances too. But I think most of the cast is pretty much what saves this season. Honestly, you do get some great gameplay, and this is the first season where we see Devon, who is an all-time great character in any reality show she's a part of. Jack and Jackie finds some great fun moments throughout. Jason definitely has his moments that are pretty much an underdog for most of the season, which definitely makes sense to him turn over the top, which so he can make it to the end, and it wasn't the best season for him, but we'll get there when we get there. And it's got James, who is also an iconic character, at least in this season. He kind of has less than season 18, but he's definitely great here in general. They're having some really great moments in general, and such really one of the most hilarious house guests ever. Meg also has some moments. Again, Liz definitely has some moments. Again, Bess is a great game player. Austin, I kind of disliked the first, but I kind of grew to appreciating him more as season went on. And then there's Johnny Mac, who the fact that we haven't gotten a Johnny Mac return yet is a fucking shame, because like, so I didn't expect to enjoy much like that, but he is such an iconic character. So many memorable lines, so many like things that are just hilarious. It comes out of his mouth, and he's still a good competitor in general. Honestly, I would love to see him make a return and see what he would do on his second chance. But Johnny Mac, I fucking love that guy. And you got Steve, who the more I think about it, the more I think he's actually pretty underappreciated as a winner. Actually, I think he's got quite a little bit of my winner record. The more I think about it. Honestly, like he definitely is a pretty underrated winner in terms of his likability, his gameplay, and how he plays some aspects. Like he's a great game player, and he's definitely the one I'm actually surprised at the most. But when I'm happy, I'm surprised by honestly. Considering he's also one of the few winners that actually got nominated in the first weeks, which is kind of rarely actually for a winner. But yeah, overall, again, some initial cast members, maybe some kind of dull weeks here and there. Evictions here and there do kind of bring it down a bit, more so in the poster, but I still think it's a good season. Now, at number 79, we get to the last Celebrity Big Brother season on the board, and that is season 1. Yeah, I think of the season so far, this one's by far the best. I think it has at least the best cast on the board, at least. Honestly, I mean, got a really interesting cast. I got Omarosa, who something I probably shouldn't enjoy much like that, but I thought she actually was a fun villain presence throughout the season. Also, Chuck definitely has his moments. Meta, despite his fortunate quit, kind of quitting the game, does also has his moments too. Brandy was a kind of fun boy throughout the season. His kind of rivalry with James Maslow was also a pretty good team. Also a fun character to watch. Mark and Adriana were just fantastic TV and has so many fun and great moments throughout. I pretty much loved Ross Matthews. He's the best character of the season, and had a nice back and forth with a lot of contestants throughout. And Marissa was also a very fun character as well. What does bring the season down a little bit is the fact that it doesn't have much interest, like memorable blindsides or big move, which I know I shouldn't expect with the Celebrity season, but I mean, the only the two instances where top Celebrity decided just lead the season, which kind of like lessens the impact of a lot in areas, and there's not like a true maybe it's like one rogue villain in the week 3 was like there's not much like exciting stuff that happens in terms of votes and evictions. It does make for the most interesting in the world, honestly, but Overall, this is still a pretty good, fun season, honestly. It's really the cast that does save it, honestly. It's just gameplay is definitely a bit lacking, and not as fun as it should be. Now we are back to Survivor again. At number 78, we are Survivor 42. I always consider Survivor 42 to basically be an improved version of Survivor 41, considering that it's kind of like mostly the same season, honestly, in terms of structure, in terms of certain things that happened. It's just I feel like you kind of need to explain a lot of twists that happened throughout the season, because that's a lot better paced, honestly, and you do get a much more memorable cast, which, say what you will, like I mentioned, the cast has always been a great plus, honestly, and whether they do well in gameplay or not. I think 42 and another season we'll get into, and maybe some 44 and 41 do have some great, at least has some great characters, and you do get some of that here as well. Maybe not so much as the Preacher. It's like you do get a credible third tribe council here that was insane. But that kind of only possible because of the twists and everything, but it was still an insane tribal council. I don't think it has many crazy moves aside from the final 6th round, which was probably the only time they actually used a double vote successfully in this season. But like, you do get some great characters here as well. Again, the winner of Mary Ann is an all-time great character. So you wouldn't expect to win Survivor, but you couldn't help but just love and adore her from the very beginning. Mike has his moments. Romeo had a great interesting day where he basically was on top of the world in pre-merge, where he was actually the leader of his tribe, and pretty much when sit down here, we voted wrong nearly every tribal council. Which is kind of hilarious if you think about it. And Lindsay is the one that definitely was a little bit under-edited at first, but give him a much more better character later on. Jonathan has his moments by being a dick. Omar is one of the best game players that we got in the new era. Drea has her moments. Chanel has her moments. Tori has her moments. Roxwarrior has his moments. But you do get some great moments of some nice back and forth. Again, it is kind of, like I said, it is kind of mostly the same as 41. Again, I'm still not using the Hourglass, I'm not using the Do or Die. Thank the God they got rid of that. Still not using the merge. On the merge. Which is why. This is not using some of the format changes. Again, some of the people that voted in pre-jury, I will lie, are kind of lacking characters. Are not the most interesting. And aside from Omar, I don't think it has a true great moment, honestly. We may count the whole Drea talk about the black people being voted, honestly. But that else, I don't think it has any true standout moments. But the characters and quality of the characters do end up making up for it. The quality of the character and the cast does make up for it. Definitely not an amazing season by any means, but still a pretty enjoyable one. Now we're back talking about another Big Brother Canada season, and that is Big Brother Canada 6. Again, similar to what I said about Big Brother Canada 7. The biggest issue with this season is the editing. The editing is pretty much the big issue with this season, as it's kind of all over the place at times. A lot of times not sure what's going on with the fictions and everything, and some people don't get to know some of the cast much as they want to, and from what I looked at on, there was some crazy, insane stuff that was happening that for some reason didn't end up showing, honestly, which saying if you looked up what actually happens, it's one of the cases where I think the feeds would, I'm not usually a feed watcher, but from what I hear, this is a case where I think the feeds themselves were much better than the actual product that we got. Honestly, saying that some of them were really shown on the actual show, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, you do get a mostly solid cast here. You get a solid final 2 with Paris and Kalia. I think Derek and Will do have their moments. Manny is great. Eric, I think, is an all-time great character. Ryan and Johnny do have their impressive moments. Olivia has her moments. You know, it's got Hamza, Mary, and Veronica do have their moments and fun downfalls throughout the season. Well, it doesn't have a true all-time great move or all-time great moments. But I won't say I was bored throughout the season, honestly. It's just the editing and the lack of interesting storytelling does kind of break down a little bit, but it's still a good season, mostly thanks to the cast. Now we are back talking about Hell's Kitchen, people. At number 76, we got Hell's Kitchen Season 2. Now, Season 2 is pretty much what I say is a more improved version of Season 1, honestly, where it's kind of, like I said, this was kind of based on a lot of the chefs weren't really actual pro chefs. And honestly, it really shows considering the talent this season is just, maybe stuff from Henry and Keith are pretty terrible. I'm held the runner up in this season, pretty much got nominated nearly every time the show was able to be for nomination. And just how I made it to the very end. But like, this is a more fun season. This is probably what Gordon Ramsay definitely shown like how insane he can really get at times. Time in terms of how he is and crazy insane moments. Like you get some all-time bad dinner episodes from a lot of contestants, as well as also first incident where basically both teams ended up losing, which is now a common occurrence on Hell's Kitchen, but it's an even more occurrence in this season. But it was actually this was the first time it actually happened, which was kind of surprising. And Gordon Ramsay isn't afraid to like break his own rules just to show that he means business. And that makes Hell's Kitchen a lot fun to watch. Again, it definitely has a much better cast, honestly. Well, some are still, probably a couple still does in this season, but I'll say most of them are still pretty funny. Tom had a really cocky, fun downfall throughout the season. Honestly, Rachel was a really likable person. Sarah has her moments, but she was probably the first truly hated contestant on the show, and I never really cared for her, honestly. Especially how she treated Virginia throughout the season. Garrett had a pretty also epic downfall, especially the fact that he was the first one that actually did serve raw chicken because it was faster. No joke, that actually happened. And Virginia, I think it's still like a fine character, honestly. It doesn't anything that like annoys me, but not anything that, I didn't either. But then you gotta keep the header, or I think of the obvious twist to answer this season will keep being an interesting figure threat this season. Also, rest in peace, by the way. And also had a pretty also fun downfall where how beats like sort of the Rams like, really, Virginia's better than me. I think I have a heart for Virginia. Like, oh my god. And then Heather's probably one of the most likable people to ever be on the show, and probably maybe I'll say the first true legendary figure on the show, honestly, and for good reason. She's definitely one that might be, when I definitely grown to appreciate more and think about it. Now again, aside from that the fortunate stuff, I don't think it has any like truly insane highs, honestly. Like I said, some players are a bit kind of duds, honestly, and I never liked Sarah, so some of that stuff does kind of bring it down a little bit, but again, this is also a season that's kind of still in the growing pace that you would expect from an early reality show, but outside of that, season 2 was definitely at least a step up from season 1, and one I still do really thoroughly enjoy. Now, I'm 76. Now, what? Now, happened at 75. Oh, I actually like season 16 of Hell's Kitchen. I know, blasphemy. Now, again, here's what I say. I can definitely understand why a lot of people wouldn't like season 16 of Hell's Kitchen, because, yeah, there are a lot of ways where it's like, it has probably one of the worst casts in the show, mostly because the blue team where it has a extremely unlikable people, some of the worst people to ever be on the show, honestly. So even some of the female teams aren't that much better either, mostly with Gia, honestly. And he has some pretty bad attitudes for that season, some pretty general ugliness, which I can probably excuse a little bit of season 10, like I mentioned earlier, but this is a case where it's like, ish. But I do have a little bit of a nostalgia bias, honestly, because last year this was the first season Hell's Kitchen I watched, honestly. Because also when I was still in a hotel, and I was still moved to Massachusetts recently, so I was still very new, so I mean, I think seasons kind of gone down a little bit, because I think I had much higher, honestly, but I think got a little bit down the more you think about it, but I mean, you do still get some likable contestants in this season. I think Ryan's actually a pretty underrated winner, in my opinion. I think Heather has some fun moments. Heidi's fine, honestly. And I think even some of the men have done moments, like Polly was once a likable person, but obviously he became a much more test player later on, honestly. Andrew, Matt, Coop, Johnny could go themselves, but at least they have like fun and great epic downfalls that do elevate the season a little bit, so they kind of get energy when they deserve it. Don't make it like too extremely far. Like maybe from Polly and Andrew, but at least Andrew got far with the first Black Jacket challenge, which, as much as I'm still not huge on that challenge, at least it made for amazing TV with his downfall. Devin, I think, also a pretty cool chat. Wendy has her moments. Kimberly also has her moments. even early boots like Pat, who I think was a weird first boot, honestly, and also Aaron, and also James downfall was also pretty interesting as well. The whole Jessica situation was also fun to watch. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of fun to be had, in my opinion. Though I can easily understand why people were not like Season 6 Hell's Kitchen on. So I know some of them actually had the season at the very bottom of the season rankings, and I mean, in a way, it's not the hard, honestly, but I do have fun with it, honestly, despite the nasty personalities. Now, at number 74, we get to another Survivor South Africa season, and that is Survivor South Africa Maldives. And this part of South Africa was still kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with its content and what I wanted to do to kind of try to differentiate from actual Survivor. Well, still saying Survivor obviously, but want to be a little more different. And I mean, for an interesting night, still really do enjoy it, honestly. Maybe I don't think it has the best pacing in the world. I think there's some ones to drag. I mean, not all the contestants are great characters, or not the most fun, or just more plain characters, but although you do get a mostly interesting cast, this is casting like 10 celebrities and 9 regular people, which that was actually interesting. But you do get some fun cast here, like I think people like, you know, Heike, Let's Go, Bonnie are great characters, Taejon, who's probably the first true villain to appear in Survivor South Africa, and he was fantastic TV from beginning to end. And I know the cast is just pretty solid, it has some pretty fun moments. I don't think it has like any truly major moments like Taejon being Taejon, but I think it's still a damn good season. And now we get to the last Survivor Philippines season we're talking about here, and that is Survivor Season Philippines Season 1. And I think of the 4 seasons we kind of think Season 1 is easily the best. Obviously, I won't think it's our top tier Survivor season. I think it's actually not that bad of a season, honestly. Like, it's actually pretty good, honestly. Again, the fact that it's one of those shows that actually has like 5 episodes a week, which is insane, by the way. Like, it's not just like, you know, have like one chop kill. So it has like 65 episodes. I'm not joking, honestly. But yeah, it's that one season I think the cast does make up for it. You get an interesting, charming cast of characters. I think most of Rob and JC are really fun characters. Then people like Chris, Zeta, Marlon, Veronica, Jace are interesting characters. Like, maybe some of the Primus characters aren't the most interesting, but some of them are still pretty fun. Not the worst plays in the world, or not. Or they don't have like as much stand-up personalities as you would like. And it's been a lot interesting. Like, it does have a nice solid pace to it. It does have some solid moves, some solid drop councils. So I think any like a true bad boy in this season is just again, like last season's Hot Bells that has like true standout moments of it. But it's still a pretty good season, honestly. That aside from episode, like, I do recommend checking out. I think it's kind of underrated, actually. Now back to talk about Survivor US, honestly. And now we're gonna get to season 3, Survivor Africa. Now I think we're starting to get to like the true great seasons of these shows, honestly, like the true greatness of these shows. So yeah, but Survivor South Africa, I think, is definitely still a great season. I think I've always found season to be kind of underappreciated, honestly. Well, I don't think it reaches like the highest of the first 2 seasons, obviously, but again, I always like the first Africa season, honestly. It's definitely the most harshest season of the show, because, you know, it's in Africa, obviously. But it has a pretty solid cast on it. Get some iconic characters here. Like, got the winner Ethan, who's probably the most likable person one of the most likable people to ever win Survivor. And considering, you know, his story like after the show, it's actually pretty inspiring. But yeah, I've always liked Ethan. You know, he's very likable, charming winner, and had some really good moments. Like, he was the first person actually to try to throw a challenge to get rid of someone. And it's also the first one to do it successfully. And then you also get Kim Johnson, who I think is a pretty underrated character. You got Lex, who's one of the best villains ever been on the show. Big Tom, despite some of his questionable sayings at times, is a pretty fun character. Teresa is very likable throughout. Kim Peace likable throughout. Frankie Brandon. Kelly is so underrated character. That's why I was still is wanting to actually return at some point, and I can see why. Clarence has questionable moments. It's fine, honestly. You know, like Lindsay, Salas, Linda. Like, I said maybe aside from Brandon Frank, there is like a true dud on this cast, honestly. Like some better than others, but I think that's a mostly solid cast, honestly, aside from Brandon and Frank, who I think that's not really interesting or not fun to watch, honestly. And nothing else apart from the season that kind of like, and nothing else kind of like break the pacing down a little bit, honestly, which is up to that, but kind of why this season is a bit down, because the pacing emerges not the most interesting, and it can get a bit stagnant at times, honestly. And I can definitely see why people wouldn't like Africa, honestly, in a lot of areas, but there's also some great moments here. Again, this was the first season to actually have the tribe swap. The first tribe swap was on this season, and it's done that pretty much the majority of the seasons have done since then. You can still get some great back and forth, get some fun challenge moments, like get some great moments throughout. So I won't say it's like a top 2 season, it's one I still really enjoy. Now at number 71 we have Australian Survivor Season 3, the first true Network 10 Australian Survivor season that we have gotten. And you can kind of tell that on in a lot of ways. And since, again, some of the game first season this type of new era, they're still trying to figure out what they want to do in a lot of these seasons, and they definitely can feel, obviously, you know, like they're still like figuring stuff out, honestly. And this, of course, where they have like the many constant episode formats, like 26 episodes with and 24 players, obviously. So yeah. However, I think it was a good season. Like, you do get a mostly good cast from this season. Like, maybe some of the Preachers are the most enemy cast we got. Not the most poor yet that we got. Like, it's not the worst that we got from these like this, but it's not the most interesting. Like, you get some great pre-merge episodes. Like, I think pre-merge itself is actually pretty good and great, honestly. Like, you get some fun back and forth, some multi-great moves. Like, with Phoebe's great auto plays that leads to an insane vote out, honestly, with some insane vote outs, honestly. And well, she also end up making after because of her terrible gameplay, it still she pretty much like rolled away with the merge to being just a great character, honestly. And I think the merge does kind of dip a little bit in terms of like being kind of stagnant in a couple areas, but it does definitely get better at the final 7, where you get like one of the most brutal blindsides in the show's history with Brooke. Like, talk about brutal. Brutal. Honestly, and yeah, a lot of the cameos are great. Again, Nick is also a great character. Sue has some moments. And Brooke is also a great character. Again, Flag, while she definitely being under-edited in All-Stars, she's also a fantastic character. Matt Sam, a pretty likable. Elle's a great character. Lee had a fun downfall, and Gracie, she's definitely an odd winner. I find her to be a little underappreciated as a winner. Not that she's one of the best winners out there in the world, but I don't think she's definitely as bad as some got, to be honestly. Actually, I like her, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up making a return at some point. Yeah, and it's not because we can tell they're still kind of figuring out the things at certain things, and maybe the pacing does kind of drag, at least like most seasons that you'll have like a true obvious winner in it, at least. It just really does stagnate and the merge just kind of what help brings it down a little bit, but I think it's still a pretty good season. Now at number 70, we have Big Brother 3. Definitely an interesting season. Again, this is kind of Big Brother was starting to, you know, figure itself out a little bit. This was when they first introduced the power of veto, which obviously now is a staple of Big Brother, but it's definitely still in a weird state where basically everyone competes in the competition and no nominees are able to use it, and it could cause like drama and controversy, and it would cause a lot of drama, a lot of this and that, which led to, aside from the first week, nobody really using the veto, honestly, which it would kind of make it feel a little pointless, but I guess it's necessarily the cast does make up for it, honestly. Of course, you got like Jason and Danielle, one of the best dynamic duos in the show's history, and they're right as being one of the best characters that we have got on Big Brother, honestly. Also, her snarkiness, her great gameplay, her nice back and forth, her kind of eventual downfall, which kind of led to the jury being formed in Big Brother. Lisa the winner herself has her moments, Amy has her moments, she also got an all-time great character, Marcellus, and of course his downfall being an all-time great moment in Big Brother. Then you got Roddy, who's a being a douchebag, I actually remember him being, but it kind of makes it a lot of fun with how hypocritical he can be at times. I mean, Jerry has his moments. CR and some would have the moments again. I think maybe aside from Tanya, I'd say maybe some Tanya, maybe Eric. It's not really a true depth to cast, honestly. I think the fact that they're still trying to figure out the kinks in certain areas can feel a bit dated at times with certain aspects, and the detail with him still being in the learning stages definitely does kind of bring things down a little bit. I don't think it's paced the best, but we still get a pretty good season with the cast again. I think the cast does make up for it, for the shortcomings. Now we're already at number 69. Damn, getting through this. But coming in at 69, we have Big Brother 13. And in a lot of ways, I kind of wish this season would end up being much higher on this ranking, honestly, because I do think this is actually a great season where it does have a lot of great moments, a lot of surprising visions, a nice back and forth with a lot of the players. I actually enjoyed Rachel more this season, despite some of her attitude still bugged me the wrong way in some areas. Honestly, but her win was actually pretty surprising, honestly, and definitely one of the first times I was actually surprised by a winner. But man, and she was definitely like lucky in a lot of areas, and actually like she went out and snap. But yeah, I actually don't mind Rachel winning on to this season. But I'm still conflicted on her as a character. But we'll get there when we get there. That's a bit of another day. I think Portia's a pretty underrated character and player, honestly. I fucking adore Adam. I think he's an all-time great character. And Jordan and Jeff are still great as well. Shelly is actually pretty good. Kalia is also great. Daniel Donato. Yeah, interesting play on the second time around again. You can get some fun pre-treated plays. Like again, I don't think it. Actually, I don't think it's actually really a done on this cast. Honestly, I'm like maybe Keith, but I don't think it's really a true done on this cast. Honestly, in my opinion, I think it has a really. I think this does have a great cast. Honestly, a great back and forth with a lot of the players. Some nice great moves. The brutal blind side of. The brutal 2 blind sides, the incredible Daniel blind side, and of course the oh my god brutal Jeff blind side in Final 7, which time was even more brutal than in Big Brother 11. But in a lot of ways, I could actually make them basically actually be much higher in this ranking, but the whole Pandora response in the Final 6 really brings the season down, in my opinion. Of course, and I'm sure some people may excuse this, honestly, but it's one of those cases how unfair and so it kind of boosted Rachel being a winner, and also the fact that it was pretty obvious they wanted that they could make it free for us, so they decided to bring it back, which and it really just ruined the pacing and just ruined the pacing, honestly, and makes the last couple of weeks just kind of drag me. Aside from the fact that we got an amazing Tori Spelling moment, between Tori Spelling and now freaking out in Final 5, but stuff that kind of makes the last couple of weeks kind of like just stagnant, honestly. Honestly, because there was definitely a lot of greatness that happened before that, and it could have been an all-time great season, but that aspect is the one that really always breaks the down for being. It's still a great season, in my opinion. I think it's actually quite underrated, actually. I know a lot of people really don't even not like it, but as a whole, I think for 13, I think is a pretty great season. That pinot boxing just really brings it down. Now, at number 68, we have the first season, the very first season of Big Brother Canada. Big Brother Canada! Woo! Canada! So, it's the first season of Big Brother Canada. Again, similar to basically a lot of the first season we get into. This was another time where you can tell they were still really figuring out what they wanted to do here, and you can really tell a lot of areas. But I still love that it still makes this actually a lot of fun, honestly. Now, does it have a lot of like bullshit twists? Yes. Does it have a lot of like crazy moments that you say does have some pretty terrible people in the house? Yes. Jill and Emily are actually likable, honestly, and of course you get the whole them not getting a downfall. Like, there definitely are some issues this season that do kind of bring it down a little bit, especially with the twist aspect. That again, I really enjoyed the actual incident fiction. The more I think about it, the more like. Yeah, and a lot of times they would choose very randomly, honestly, and those got an instant where basically jury ends up coming back to the freaking Final 5, which is insane, by the way. And most definitely, Big Brother has definitely gotten a lot better with the actual twist, honestly. this is the case where they're just spilling like what, just hoping to just put it on the wall and see what sticks. But again, like with the last we talked about earlier, it's really the cast that saves it. I mean, you got freaking Gary, who was an... I know what you can say, but he's a true all-time great character, a Big Brother. Like, I don't think we're gonna find anyone like Gary ever again, if we're being honest, because he was just so much fun. Well, I'm just the best gameplay in the world. This is case where character really just saves it. Joey and Matt do have their moments, so Walter will have like a true downfall, and the unfortunate that can't have Jillian be the winner. But I do still have their moments again. Tyler has her moments, Andrew has his moments, Peter, Topaz, Alec also pretty interesting characters. AJ, pretty okay. It's one thing I can always praise about Big Brother Canada, honestly. Even the worst seasons, they never know how to cast out players. They know how people that actually know the show. They know how to cast out people that actually know how to play. Well, they play bad or good or bad, like sort of another day, but yeah, but again, they really know how to cast their players, honestly, and how to make some so interesting characters throughout. Again, like I mentioned, Gary. You're not gonna get someone like him on Big Brother US, honestly. And again, I say maybe some of them Suzette, Liza, and maybe Tom to an extent. I don't think that, and I think maybe Cat, like, I don't think any of them is still like real duds. I don't think there's like a truly bad play on this season, or a bad contestant here. Some of them come across just kind of bland or just annoying. Honestly, like, we got the iconic incident where basically, like, Gary probably could have won this season by returning, actually. And someone ended up casting the wrong vote. Yeah, someone actually cast the wrong vote that led to the other person actually winning the season. Again, whether it's or not, it is iconic for the best reason. That does elevate the season a little bit. Again, the twist and maybe feeling stagnant and the post-jury does bring it down a little bit, but I think, again, that's what the cast and some fun gameplay points do make up for us. Now we're back to Hell's Kitchen. And coming in episode 7, we get to another old school season, that is Hell's Kitchen Season 13. I mean, Season 3. I always thought 13, but yeah, episode 7 is Hell's Kitchen Season 3. This is probably where Hell's Kitchen was definitely hitting its stride, and definitely, it's like, oh wow, this is gonna be an interesting show. Like, this is where they actually started to cast like actual chefs, like people that actually cook outside of the show, and live with some pretty fun and great moments. Again, still kind of thinking of the gears in some areas, but you get some iconic Ramsay moments here, with Ramsay being just screaming, yelling, and just being like who he is, honestly. And you get a pretty solid cast as well, honestly. Like I thought First Elimination, basically Melissa basically just brought out someone that she said was going to be safe. And maybe Eddie was just fine, honestly. I don't think he really stood out much, honestly. And again, Joanna also did stand out by having a moment when she was close to serving rancid crap, which is insane. But he was kind of an interesting douchebag, honestly, especially during his first episode. Brad has some moments, Josh has some moments, and Melissa had a crazy downfall where even her hair was starting to fall apart, which is insane. And again, Julia, who definitely has probably one of the best underdog runs in the show's history, being a Waffle House cook, and Julia was the most likable people to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen, honestly. Again, having a fantastic story, honestly. I think Bonnie has her moments, again, even Jen has her moments, especially the whole scam mishap in episode 3, which speaks for itself, and even Ron has his moments, honestly. I would say, like, every service is, like, amazing. I think it does kind of like a little bit at the worst episode, but then you also got the whole Josh ejection, or basically Josh was the first person to actually get ejected from service. Like, there are some all-time great moments here. And yeah, maybe some of the few cast moments might be that interesting, and a couple of stacking points do bring it down a little bit, but I think it's still a great season, Hell's Kitchen. Now at number 66, we get to another Hell's Kitchen season, that is Hell's Kitchen Season 14. What's probably known as probably the season with the most talented cast to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen, and I don't think a good reason, honestly, because it probably has one of the best casts to ever be on Hell's Kitchen, honestly. Like, who's got the most dominant one in Megan, who, say what you ever heard of personalities, she at least definitely proves her talent so greatly. You also got T, who's another very talented but also more likable contestant. You have Millie, who's probably the biggest teddy bear ever and one of the most likable chefs ever, one of the most passionate at least. There's Michelle, Nick, Josh, Allison, Randy. Well, you get some pretty talented people here, of course. Now it runs down to you got Michael, and you also got Monique, who, yeah, but this team that has a pretty likable, so a mostly pretty much likable and interesting cast. You usually get some pretty like crazy moments, honestly, when Chef Ramsay actually comes to the dorms to basically tell them to nominate people. Like, that's insane, honestly. And you get a nice back and forth between a lot of contestants. So a couple of good rivalries happen, like Josh being Josh, which honestly it's kind of a fun, like a fun foil throughout the season, especially back with Nick and a lot of the people throughout the season. And you have some pretty likable people as well, and some great services. So again, I don't think everyone's like a home run. I mean, it does come stagnant after a bit, which is probably the only reason why season 14 is as where it is, honestly. But don't be wrong, I still think it's a great season. I still think it's a great season of Hell's Kitchen. Now, what's next season going to top out? Then number 65. Oh, right, I had to play myself. At number 65, you know, I still think it's a great season. Don't kill me, but I have Big Brother 6. What? Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have Big Brother in like the top tier echelon of Big Brother seasons. But let me explain again. I still think Big Brother 6 is a great season. I still think Big Brother 6 is a great season. I still love this season. I still think there's a lot of greatness in this season. I mean, you had Janelle and her first time on the show. And yeah, they also got a lot of iconic moments. You got the week 3, which is one of the best weeks in Big Brother history. You got Kaser, you got James, Howie. Like, a lot of memorable characters. The freaking pressure cooker is amazing. Like, so many iconic moments are from this season. And I know a lot of people that have season like a lot higher on the Big Brother ranking in this ranking in general, honestly. But the one thing I never liked in this season, the one thing that I never liked that does bring it down, honestly, from being a top tier Big Brother season, is the fact that I never really liked the Friendship Alliance. Like, most of like April and Yvette Maggie, I never really cared for them. I never liked them, honestly. Not that like bad personalities, not that the worst people be on Big Brother. I just never find anything interesting or fun about them. And a lot of times it just comes across as annoying, honestly. I can also Yvette, honestly, and anything. I can make it like fine, honestly, and like she does have a moment, but you know, they're just fine, and considering that like a huge part of this season, it doesn't kind of affect a lot of the season, more so the end portions of the post-trade season. So then, because of that aspect, why I have Big Brother at 6 where it is, honestly. And yeah, I know a lot of people have season a lot higher, but it is where it is at number 65. Please don't kill me. Okay, now get the kill. We get to number 64, and that is Big Brother Canada 2. Now, Canada 2 does definitely build up a lot of Canada 2, honestly, and while I still have the unfortunate issue with Dean with the big twists, honestly, like, I mean, hell, like, one figure they literally have America beat HOH. I'm not making it up. They literally had Canada. They literally had Canada beat HOH for a week. Which kind of ended up bringing a lot of dynamics to the season, honestly. And pretty much a big move that happened wasn't even caught by the house guests. And one week that pretty much like really screwed one play, honestly, which, yeesh. But even though I wouldn't say they're as egregious here, and you do get a pretty great cast, honestly, similar to Canada 1, honestly. Well, none of them are like true all-time great characters as like Gary. There's really not a true dud in this cast, honestly. Like, it's still a great cast, honestly. I think John's a very likable winner. Sabrina has some insane, crazy moments and a pretty hilarious character. Nada is an icon Canada for a reason. Heather, Adele, Arlie, Kenny, Michelle, Allison, Sarah, Paul and his crazy antics in the first few weeks. And of course got Aika, well, she doesn't become a prominent character in BB Can 5. Again, definitely had a great first season, honestly, and there's a reason why she was definitely brought back. Of course, they got the iconic letter, portraying Letters moment. That's still one of the best moments in the history of Big Brother Canada. Again, that season where I think the cast really does save it, honestly. You get a lot more fun gameplay here. You get an actual final big blindside here, which is kind of rare, honestly. Honestly, you got a great friendship, some great back and forth, and all around a great season. Now at number 63, we get to another Hell's Kitchen season, and I think it's the most recent season, honestly, on the board, and that is Hell's Kitchen Season 21 Battle of the Ages. Which is the most recent season. I think this is a great season. Again, I'll say it's one of these I don't think really has like a true standout moment. Unfortunately, it's kind of like maybe except for the 514 service that needs somehow disastrous Black Jacket service. In terms of individual moments, I don't think there's really any true standout moments. And I don't think it has the best cast in the world, honestly, most of the older side. But it still has what you enjoy about the show with the great services, like I mentioned, the fun characters, still get some back and forth between a lot of his contestants, honestly. Again, the final 14 service where Trent's wedding is insane, how bad service that was. That wasn't enough, and having one of the worst Black Jacket services in the history of the show, and the bright downfall was Cheyenne, who was a great character to watch. Tara having like a great heel turn is fun to watch. And people like Abe, Summer, Daphne, and Alejandro are great. Great, again, Vlad and Brett's also have interesting downfalls. But then, of course, you got Alex, who's definitely not one of the big goats of Hell's Kitchen. And definitely a top tier winner, in my opinion, and top tier contestant. Of course, not just being like the first like 40+ winner of the show, but just all around being one of the most likable and pure people to ever be on the show. And he definitely elevates the season a lot with his likability and great attitude. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I can really say about the season. It's still great. Now, at number 62, we get to one of the more interesting Big Brother seasons, and that is Big Brother 23. This is probably the next stop. I'm probably going to be on the more divisive end on Big Brother for a lot of reasons. This one definitely is, because it all depends on the whole Cookout Alliance, which is probably the biggest driving force of this season, where they try to have like one black person be the first black winner in the show's history. And it did very discreetly, not really like lying together until later on and everything, and when they pretty much end up dominating most of the season, and they basically kind of made moves that were against the best interest of times, which led to certain people, more important ones leaving, and some more lesser ones making it to the end, which is, like I said, a very divisive aspect of this season, but I think that the holding low does make it still a fun aspect, and a very compelling aspect of the season. I mean, yeah, it can lead to some more gameplay being stagnant points, especially in the host jury. But at least you get Whitey is honestly one of the best modern casts in the show's history, honestly. But honestly, maybe except for Whitney, there really isn't anyone I really disliked from this cast, honestly. Everyone I at least enjoyed in some way. Even though some may have their off moments, like most of Derek F. But all of them definitely do have the great moments. Like I just like Xavier in the season, and like Oz's great. Kyla, despite that Wednesday's Eviction, was definitely great TV. Hannah was someone I enjoyed a lot more than I actually anticipated, and especially Tiffany, who's easily the best character of the season. But even everyone else is great, honestly. And Travis was interesting first boo. Frenchie had the most disastrous 50 HOH ever. Brett had a fun downfall. Christian had a good downfall as well. Brittany was so much fun, and also a very energetic personality, and also actually autistic, also makes her very likable. Derek X is a very likable player as well that I hope to see return for a second season. Claire was also great despite being an alternate. Sarah Beth has her moments, even Alyssa has her moments, and you get some fun background competitions. Again, Twitch still feel a little weird this season with the team thing and the whole BB Bucks thing they try to do, but as a whole, I don't think it's a really, in my opinion, a great season that what the cast does really elevate it, because while it can feel very stagnant in the post jury, the cast itself really does elevate, and the whole Cookout Alliance and the whole story they try to go through, it's one of the more compelling things that Big Brother has done in terms of telling a true, consistent story. That's what I mean by that. Now, at number 61, as I'm filming this, we're getting into the most recent season of US Big Brother, and that is Big Brother 24. Now, again, there are definitely a lot of issues with this season that do definitely break it down, honestly. But there was like one particular aspect of this season that actually does elevate me a lot, because Yeah, if you look at this season, it gets some of my top 10 worst weeks in Big Brother history. I had week 1 of Big Brother 24 as my number 1. Like, oh my god, that was so rough seeing Taylor get poorly treated for no particular reason, just because, oh, she's a magic girl, so she has to be flirty, and then they made that to say some microaggressive things and twist some things to make Taylor look like she's a god-awful person. I know he's lying against kind of normal brother, but that's kind of going way too far, and obviously they use a lot of microaggressions and all that stuff to basically just, wow. If I had to do like well, he's been the first boot over something that she didn't do wrong, and he had that terrible backstage twist, which, yeesh, as well. And definitely Taylor didn't actually end the next week because Pooch was pretty terrible, but week 3 could easily be another terrible week, considering that, again, Taylor did anything wrong, Daniel was an asshole, Paloma quit on her. But then week 3 ended up being something that we have never seen in the show before, an actual blindside, an actual flip on an alliance, which something we don't really see often in Big Brother, where Amira, Nicole, and Daniel were pretty much high up on RPL's power rankings, and after this week they basically were next 3 evicted, and I never felt so satisfied in my life seeing that happen. Well, yeah, it all comes because of the Bessie twist. That was still so satisfying to see. And seeing Nicole and Daniel's downfall, while not really because of their own actions as well, is so fucking great and the best use of karma ever. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. And pretty much ever since that, the season has gotten a lot better. Well, yeah, you do get some kind of forgettable players. Like, I bet you nobody's gonna remember who Indy was after this season. Jasmine definitely gotten better after this season, thankfully. I heard Inter Taylor. Joseph has his moments. Kyle was definitely a standout character that pretty much caused his own downfall. But Terrence, he was fine. Alyssa was fine. Alright, Michael, of course, being one of the biggest comp beasts ever by winning 6 freaking vetoes. and to be honest, if you actually broke the record, this season probably would have been a few spots higher. Monty was also fine. Turner definitely character was growing on me a bit, and Brittany was pretty good. But again, what elevates this season? Despite the issues I have with this season, what elevates it to where it is at 61 is the fact that Taylor ended up winning the season. Someone who pretty much could easily been first boot, went through so much shit, stuff that she didn't even do, and she ended up winning the season. And let me tell you, I don't remember the last time I felt so satisfied and screaming at the top of my fucking lungs over someone winning. Like I said, I don't remember the last time I felt so much joy watching someone win Big Brother. Like, oh my god, I was like, ah! So I know that, but yeah, basically, Taylor's one of the most satisfied I felt watching anyone win Big Brother. Like, literally anyone. And definitely people else that are close to that, but yeah. This story that has rarely been told on Big Brother, honestly. And I want to say, if it probably wasn't that story, the season actually probably would have been a few spots down, maybe like around the 70s or 80s actually. Honestly, because like I said, there were some pretty difficult contestants, and the week 1 is terrible, like really abysmal, and you do get some pretty unlikable people here. But that whole story elevates Big Brother 24 to where it is at 61.